welcome back to HGC Korea. We're off of match number 2, the Battle of the Bees. Which bee will be the bad, which bee will be the better.
Beautiful.
Or the beautiful.
Okay, there
That's
we
a
go.
better way of putting it.
I got you, G-Clef. That's right. We're back with what should be one of our closer matches. A blossoming BlossoM, or rising up, and a Ballistix who have been... There's not another B word that I can use.
Below their average.
Below
potentials.
expectations.
Yes.
There we go. We would always consider Ballistix, Tempest, and what is now Genji Black to be the toppest of the top, the apex, the zenith of HGC Korea player, just HOTS play in general. But they, Ballistix, that is, has been kind of struggling, whether it's the current meta or individual playstyle or team coordination. Something's got to change. Will it change today, and will they kind of maintain, solidify their spot in the top 3 teams, or will BlossoM, for what feels like the first time in forever, overtake them and kind of challenge that top 3 spot in HGC Korea?
I think for Ballistix, they can start it with Irel. It's
Okay.
not going to be guaranteed because, of course, BlossoM can just ban it out, steal it all the time. With Battle of Jongha and Wiz, if they get their hands on Irel, how they're going to play it, because they're both very solid. They don't really lose to solo lane. They can always keep it up, so they are very strong solo. But the other 4 rotational work, that's usually where the battle happens. But for this matchup, I think that 1v1 we don't really get to see on camera too much, because you don't really get too many kills. They're often just fighting, soaking up EXP on the top. But I think that's going to be the main focus that I want to highlight here.
So here is a look at Ballistix. Of course, the lineup that you all know and love: SC, Hooligan, Jongha, SD, and Magi. And what do you expect to see be their big advantage? Is it going to be whether or not they utilize Urel better, macro play? Because they have been struggling in this current meta.
Of course, that's because of their previous series against Tempest. First Miracle, a 3-0, but not as dominant. We saw some moments. Tempest, they got their one magical win with the perfect gust, with, of course, having SD on Falstad. Did work out pretty well, because also with the mistake with the macro for Tempest getting a little greedy, but it was a 1-3 loss, which we actually expected for Ballistix to kind of win. And after watching those 2 series, you would wonder, what are they actually trying to do in this meta? They seem different.
I think they wonder what they're trying to do in this meta sometime too. You can see maybe SCSC having a little bit of a Bible thump there before the games, but I do hope that Ballistix are in good spirits, because they will need everything that they can muster to take a win here. I think that at least I still expect for them to do well, but for BlossoM, these are the games that really define teams, and I think this is going to be the first real opportunity that we have to see a team maybe overtake one of our top 3 teams and advance into that upper third of HGC Korea.
Because Ballistix, they were playing so many Tracers, and so many of the heroes, even before MSB, they were strong. Lots of Overwatch heroes like Genji, Hanzo, Tracer, they were strong, but they have been nerfed so many times that it is not the same meta, same old Heroes of the Storm anymore. They have to adapt, and they have to learn the new strategy and drafting style, which actually they lost a lot against Tempest. Let's see what happens against BlossoM.
This is a look at BlossoM, of course. Honkono and Mary Day, the kind of returning from retirement, actually looking pretty good, even though Honkono has kind of changed his role in there, becoming I guess their tank player. He has actually looked really good. Mary Day, by far, living up to the expectations we have. Of course, an older legendary player returning and still looks almost just as good.
And it is his meta with Karazim, with Rhaegar, the ones that he used to play so many times back in MVP. Lag, and we do get to see the support comparison between Ballistix, Magi, and BlossoM Mary Day. Mary Day already shots fired. Said he is still the best support.
I mean, hey, it's hard to argue with that. I think the comparison that we were talking about earlier is, look at the hero damage between these guys. It's actually very high for supports.
That is pretty high. And amount of healing, not too bad. I think BlossoM, on the other hand, they have more chances to actually have games as well. So that's a better stat. For support, because we have a lot of Karazims in this meta, I think that's why we have a pretty high damage from the heroes, even though they're supports.
Sake is definitely contributing to that one after that previous series, but
Uh-huh.
he sees a big smile there on his face before coming into this. Of course, got a chance to hear a pretty cool interview from him yesterday. You guys can go check that out if you want. But let's go ahead and jump into our first game. It is going to be on Dragonshire. For game 1, Ballistix versus BlossoM. Who do you think this benefits, G-Clef?
Ballistix a little bit more. In terms of macro, BlossoM is not the team that likes to macro one out with the globals. And Ballistix does. Actually, they like to prefer playing on the big maps, but this map has good potential at the late game. You can just take the late game Dragonet that can open up the fort and the keep. And you may just go straight to the core right after. And let's see what happens in the draft. The Ballistix, they have to be showing some promises in their picks today.
Instant Genji ban, no surprises there at all. Will we see something like a Yrel ban? We've seen Sergeant Hammer ban a few times because that does fit very key into a few comps, but I would expect to see things like Genji, Hanzo, maybe some Yrel mixed in there because they have been very, very popular nowadays. Ballistix, what do you think they're worried about from BlossoM?
I personally think they should focus on Phoenix, as they have been playing lots of Phoenix-focused comps along with Yrel, providing some peel so the range assassin actually comes in true. But Valkyrian band, they want to open few more options up for them.
That does make sense. Of course, first pick Malfurion has been super, super common, but there's the Phoenix that you were talking about, G-Clef, coming out first, and I don't think that's a big surprise. Just overall, in general, it's been very good, but it does leave up the Yrel, which is taken away immediately by Ballistix. And actually prioritizing Muradin, first pick, do you think that's warranted, or did they just not want to give anything away?
They want to hide something here, as it hints me that they have brought something unique. Even though if it's not unique, they want to hide few things. There's no real good reason to have Muradin first pick. You can hide it until the 5th pick. He may never be banned, never be picked by the unlikely to be picked by the other team. There are so many other tanks like Garrosh, Johanna, even Diablo has been slightly nerfed in this patch, but still very strong on this map. So they want to hide it for some reasons.
And this might also stress BlossoM out a little bit. Oh, an early Muradin pick. What could they possibly be going for? Because especially coming up into the next ban phase, this is where teams kind of either give too much information away and then have something banned they think they need. But yeah, Ballistix not really giving too much information to BlossoM. And oh, there is the Sergeant Hammer I was talking about earlier, combined, of course, with that Tyrael. Those are going to be picked right now, so BlossoM is not making the same mistake that Gluck did in giving their opponents the opportunity to take Hammer away from the comp that they're running.
Because they want to... I think they want to find some other ban and make sure they get their own hands. Along with Tyrael, who's going to provide some shields. Buy some time for Sergeant Hammer to escape when they're pushing the lane. But Ballistix, they already have the Muradin to set up a few good ganks. Either Phoenix, Sergeant Hammer. Those stone bolts, if they land, it will get some stuns in. And that may just be enough time to provide the burst to get the kill. BlossoM, they have to be thinking ahead with Tyrael, what else they can actually have to keep his teammates alive, which will be Phoenix and Sergeant Hammer. This is kind of opposite where we have BlossoM all the DPS revealed already. Ballistix, they have everything else kind of hidden in their hands. The second ban should hint us a little more what they want to do.
Right, so a Deckard Kane. Okay, we've seen Deckard banned out a little bit more. I think Deckard took a little bit of time to come into the meta after coming out and being available, but has solidified his role as very effective. A Chromie ban there. That's really interesting. So the Hammer team bans Chromie, I guess, to prevent their opponents from having that kind of long-range poke, or that, I guess, attempted counter.
It's because they locked it so quickly, because you don't really have exact idea what they're going to do. Very likely to peel for the back long-range assassin, which can be Chromie and all these other things. But compared to everything else, Chromie seems the most likely because they already have Sergeant Hammer. So there's the answer.
Well, BlossoM has Sergeant Hammer, but Ballistix has a lot of hammers on their team. So if they could just look for every hero that has one of those, maybe we'll see a common theme coming out here. But there's certainly a lot of flexibility left for Ballistix. really could go in a whole lot of different directions here in the draft. I don't know exactly what to expect, but I think more importantly, BlossoM doesn't know what to expect. 5 seconds left. We'll finally get a chance to see what Ballistix has in store. It's the Karazim. Talked about it earlier.
From the Decker ban, I was expecting maybe they're pretending like they wanted to have some range and just peel from Irel, but from the Decker ban, I secondly thought maybe they're preparing dive, but you can't really have too much dive. Karazim, of course, you can think of that one, but Genji's already banned, so it's wondering in my head what is actually going to happen. But seems like they are looking to go to that late game because Decker was so powerful with the amount of healing in late game. They just wanted to remove that from Merryday.
Rhaegar Dahaka, the final picks there for BlossoM. You know, I wouldn't necessarily associate that with a Sergeant Hammer comp. Why do you think they're going Dahaka in this case? Is it just to match up against Zirel or have that global advantage?
Yeah, global advantage. That's exactly what they're looking for. Zirel can do some damage as buffed in this patch, but likely going to be roaming around as well. With Muradin, that's going to be a powerful roaming comp for sure. And making sure they have the global, because on this map, I do think from all the history gathered in together with the data, Ballistix does control global better in this matchup in Dragon Chire, so BlossoM really thinking ahead and make sure they have a global against them.
Final pick for Ballistix. I don't think it can be anything really crazy. Still looking for, I guess, a way to deal with Sergeant Hammer. They've got the Hanzo, that's one way, but will they need maybe a little bit more, I don't know, dive? I'm not sure exactly what to look for. The Falstad, okay, so giving themselves a little bit of global as well.
There's a very high chance that they were going to pick Falstad. It's kind of weird to have just to have a mage that can kind of go against the range of Sergeant Hammer. Even Leeming is not too bad. Kind of like Chromie, where you can just have all of your skills spent on one target, which can be blocked by lots of shield. I think that's what they were considering, as he's a great Leeming player, as well as Falstad, as what we saw versus Tempest.
Sick fan signs in the crowd.
Jonah and SDE fans in the crowd there.
Lots of Ballistix fans coming out to support their team. Of course, BlossoM not without their own fans, although I guess we're not catching them on camera. I actually really do like this draft from BlossoM. I think there's a lot of potential, but can one hammer beat 3, G-Clef?
We'll see. But that one hammer is actually the Sergeant Hammer, so maybe it controls all 3 or more.
Should be noted that Sergeant Hammer is not actually... Wait, is she actually a sergeant in the lore? I actually... So when the hero came out, I mean, they're supposed to be like loosely based on
you should
lore.
know, it's StarCraft.
I should, but unfortunately, siege tanks are not Sergeant Hammer.
I know.
In the actual game, so my lore kind of fails me. I'm sure there's some novel out there in which I can read more about Sergeant Hammer, so any of our lore experts feel like correct me on that one, tweet at Rapid Casting, let me know.
We'll ask Fred later on.
Yeah,
he knows
sure.
every single lore.
Isn't he on vacation? Maybe. I don't know, we'll find out about that later, but we are going to get Hooligan, or at least whoever had the issue there on Ballistix, back up and running and hopefully see which hammers prevail. As soon as the Falstad pick got locked in, I was trying to think of all the hammer heroes. Do you know any other hammer heroes out there?
MC? No. Other than the real one, I don't really know too many. But lots of paladins. I used to play lots of hammer
very true.
Back in Diablo 2.
Get some
My
Uther in there.
favorite.
Who are the other hammer heroes? Let's see. I don't know. Maybe chat can help us out with that. We've got a little bit of time to kill while we're fixing a few issues here. Uther, definitely another hammer hero. Oh, I guess Ragnaros has a hammer too, doesn't he?
Does he?
That's more like a maul.
It's more like a mace.
Yeah, it's more like a maul
thing, right? So, let's think of other heroes with the hammer.
Can you make an all-hammer comp? I guess you would have to include Sergeant Hammer in there. Either way, we're just killing time when we get a few tech issues fixed up here.
Yep, I don't exactly, not really getting the update, but Wiz got just waiting for the perfect moment to dominate the lane. As I do have some good stories with Sergeant Hammer, as I played in Asia and lots of Korean players in there and some Taiwanese players in there as well. So the communication sometimes is not too perfect, and we look for the final pick when we all speak in English in chat, and we're looking for a tank, like a frontline tank, like a Burden, Diablo, or something like that. We tank please, and then he just picks Sergeant Hammer. Oh, I guess he is tank. I guess she is tank, so that does make sense. But we asked for a tank. Those kind of things does happen. So importance of learning a language.
Very true. We did have chat come through. Thrall was the other Hammer user that I did not realize. And yes, Sulfuras is technically a mace, so we can't include Ragnaros in there. Somebody mentioned Cho'Gall at 10. A technicality, but yeah, there you can make a full Hammer comp. So if you guys want to play that and lose lots of games, then let us know how it goes, because I don't see a lot of success there. Maybe 3 Hammers is the max that we can have on one team. Ballistix are going to try it out here. And of course, many of them are pretty meta, so maybe you can make that work. I don't know exactly how that would go, but we'll get a chance to find out as soon as we get back into the game. G-Clef's counting hammers on his sheet. Right
No, I'm just looking up how many times Wiz actually played the Haka before. None this season, of course. Only only 6 games so far in Phase 2. But before, counting all the history, ever since HGC started, 34 Dehakas. So that's a lot of Dehaka. Not
many Dehakas.
55.9% win rate, so that's not too bad. And we did see his rotation being... He's actually a very aggressive Dehaka player, I would say, because he plays lots of times a melee like Zeratohu and Rag, sometimes even in Spider Queen. So if you understand how Wiz actually controls the solo lane, and he's against... So he's like the fire, and Jungha's like the water. So fire against water, who wins? I don't know, but Ace died in One Piece against Magma.
Oh my god. No.
And
no. I'm not going to read 800 chapters just to catch up with that, G-Clef.
You can spend the week and do it.
It'll take a lot more than a week.
After week 5, you can spend the week before the Western Clash starts, and you will understand everything, every single reference that I make up from One
No,
Piece.
that's reserved Octopath Traveler time, so you can't cut into that.
Hey, I love Blizzard games. I have to spend all my time playing Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm. That's about it.
I mean, are there other games? I don't think so.
StarCraft.
Oh, another Blizzard game.
Yes, Diablo.
Oh.
I still play Diablo 2.
I play Diablo 3 when the new season starts, and then I try to sell my items, but there's no auction house for me to do that in.
Sometimes Diablo 2 is too hard for me, and I can't. It's too complicated.
Tell me more about how difficult single-player games are, G-Clef.
Multiplayer.
Oh, co-op, by the way.
That was offensive. Okay. Diablo's a multiplayer game. Okay.
Competitive multiplayer.
It's very competitive. You go for the race.
Oh, is that right? Is that what you do?
You time. The time race. Yes, that's what you go for. Like the raid.
G-Clef.
And WoW. This guy's being offensive towards all the
aside,
Diablo WoW fans, guys.
We are going to get back into the game. We have started it out. All of our issues are done. And now finally we have other things to talk about than hammers and which of our Blizzard games are our favorites. I guess we can keep talking about that. But let's go ahead and get into the game. BlossoM versus Ballistix. This should be an absolutely amazing match to get a chance to see whether or not Ballistix are going to lay down and let BlossoM take their top 3 spot.
So this is the kind of rotation you have to make with Sergeant Hammer. Make sure you have some control on the lane and some time for her to actually push. Modern so far actually following the rotation. Dehaka, the only one on top for now. Irel came down to help a little bit.
Gotta respect that kerosene damage. You can see Merryday taking quite a bit of hits, but you know, nobody committing just yet. We're not seeing any of that sake action that we saw in Game 1 of our first series. So trying to see exactly where's the best place to put Hammer right now. Just taking camps. We haven't found a lane for her to sit in just yet.
It's gonna be the bottom lane, of course, as you would expect. But they have been rotating together with the Sergeant Hammer, so maybe not expecting too many things to happen, making sure Dehaka has the wave clear control of the top Sun Shrine, and then just brush locking down, possibly looking for the kill. seems like that has been the rotation, what they want to do. Oh, but they're actually pressuring in here.
They certainly are, and I don't think there's anything SCSC can do other than just try to soak and poke as much as he can.
Because Ballistix, they knew that they are eventually going to pressure in. They have started the early camp, making sure the Haka stays up there for the longest amount of time, and then they will try to get their rotational work done right after. They want to get some damage done before that because it's a trade, because the race is on the bottom as well for BlossoM.
And it's not Ogres, it's going to be the night camp, so maybe a little bit more of a resilient wave. We're pushing out in the bottom lane eventually what's going to happen. But hey, wall's taken down. We're looking for fort damage on both sides.
It's actually quite fast with the camp as well, because they have Karazim. Magi not really the most aggressive support player, I would say, compared to all the other top support. He's actually the most passive player. But on the Karazim, he does have to go in and dash in and look for the kill as well as the other supports.
Yeah, kind of uncharacteristic. I mean, if you're Sake, then you're just always up close and personal, getting in there. And we've already seen kind of what that looks like to be hyper-aggressive as a support player. Let's see if Maggie can maybe have a little bit of that this game. But either way, you're right. This is kind of a fast forward through the early game with early forts being taken on both sides.
Look how Rhaegar is just at the bottom, making sure he can actually delay for the time being, because they were grabbing camp. That was going to take some time, so which would buy some time at the bottom to make sure they get the camp and they can come back to the mid to harass the channeling. That's the kind of small little macro, but practiced for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, BlossoM are doing a really good job kind of matching Ballistix toe-to-toe. Wiz getting grabs on, I guess, not quite the best targets. 3-minute 45-second finish there for Hanzo on his quest, so Scatter Arrow will be a lot stronger from now on.
Let's see if they want to go any further after clearing the wave. Seems like they just want to grab the camp because they couldn't get too much time of value for the top camp to push out. They had Irel and Falstad together. Phoenix stun, shield is out.
Knocked back, Gondar
not enough orphan range.
Gone, no way! Sickest escape there. Beautiful save by Onkono.
Do you know where that shield came from? Tyrael, yes, the perfect save. I would say onto that with the amount of shield just saved. That was less than, I would say, 20 HP on that Phoenix.
I'd say single digits, but yeah, it looked very, very close. And now coming into Ogres, trying to save that. Modern doing a perfect job positioning there on Sergeant Hammer. Really preventing Ballistix from getting up close and personal. Now Honkono might be the one that needs to get saved. He's pushed all the way back, and I guess Gondar literally pushed back. But man, Modern is really backing up his team.
Oh, pretty good game so far for both sides. And we're having just trading forts and how they want to macro. Going out with basics of strategy in Dragonshire. This is a very good learning game as well for everyone.
All right, what should we be learning right now, G-Clef?
How they're rotating around the map, what they're trying to do as pressuring in. BlossoM actually going a little bit aggressive because they have the Haka, but Irel's already down here.
I mean, this is just so volatile, right? You cannot overextend just to try to be a little bit cheeky and poke out, contest the camp there. They ultimately are not able to take it out, but going to force out the boosters from Modern to reposition. Oh, SDE, what? That is not where he wants to be. He's going to get exploded. Walking in face checks and dies.
And you can't ignore the damage coming out from Rhaegar. There's also support that does burst damage. Oftentimes grabbing the kill as well. So with that kill, actually Irel still stays up there. So and they didn't get the Sun Shrine. So they can't really get the Dragon Knight now, but they are going to pressure in, doing some damage to the fort as well. Hooligan comes from the side. Unstoppable just in time.
Forward, actually going to reposition to disengage instead of looking for you know, one of those sick righteous hammers to get a fully charged one knock member of BlossoM into the team. I think overall BlossoM pretty easy to reposition. I mean, you've got Gondar that can blink around or warp, I guess, wherever he wants to, even if he does get in a bad spot. Sergeant Hammer.
I think that Bloodlust too was to just get the movement speed onto the Sergeant Hammer for him to escape.
I can see that.
And The Unstoppable just came on at the perfect time for the Stone Bolt. So he was going to be saved, but just in case.
And
Maybe
Modern
they just popped that.
Beautiful positioning every single fight by Modern. He is really living up to that siege tank role, helping out his team when they are fighting. It's always back in the back, and it's been hard for Ballistix to get back there and stop that damage. As you know, now that BFG is coming out, we're going to see Giant Killer here, or just a lot of long-range damage from Modern. As the game draws on, I mean, what's Ballistix' answer?
Haymaker.
Is it though?
We'll see. We'll see about that.
We've seen a lot of cool haymakers both yesterday and today, so don't doubt it. I mean, there's a reason you early picked Meriden. I guess that's one of them, maybe.
There are lots of targets.
Yeah.
Tyrael must come to save them when Haymaker lands perfectly. Sergeant Hammer, Rehgar, even Phoenix. With that warped initial delay, could be possible. There's his first damage on the Sergeant Hammer. Unstoppable, by the way. And Gust trying to isolate.
Yeah, try to separate Honkono low, but we'll be able to dash all the way back out and stay alive until the very end. But oh, there's the damage we're looking for. Meriday might just be the last or the second casualty. Will get jumped on, bopped out of there by Choga, and what a fight! Finally, we get a chance to see what Ballistix really looks like. Dragon Knight will be theirs.
That Haymaker was almost too scary. Hooligan looking for two rabbits, trying to grab two rabbits with one bullet. I mean, he was trying to get the kill onto Tyrael, plus make sure Tyrael does not have a sanctification for Phoenix right after. That was too scary. Of course, got only one with the kill onto Phoenix, but Honkono managed to escape right after. But a great play in an instant by Hooligan there.
Very well played. Now Dragon Knight should be enough to break down the second quarter of the game. For Ballistix taking down BlossoM. They don't want to overextend. I mean, Dragon Knight's good, but not that good. Although as the rest of Ballistix comes down to the bottom lane, I think, okay, so they're not calling anyone down just yet. Okay, yes, they are going to fly all the way in as SDE joining the fight. They crack the fort and rotate up to look for a third.
Great positioning, understanding the timing. Ballistix still pretty safe and got what they wanted. Fort at the bottom is they already got the top fort in the first few minutes of the game. They're leading only in XP a little bit as the Haka actually joins bottom. I think he brushed talk down, right?
Yeah.
Because he was on top of just 10 seconds ago. Ballistix might not know because they were quite far away from where Wiz is standing right now.
Either way, Falstat's going to have a field day on the top half of the map. I believe he will be able to fly down if he wants to.
Falstat actually secretly taking the camp with the cover of his teammates here.
Steal that one away. It's just beautiful positioning. If you looked on the mini-map, you can see the rest of Ballistix really zoning out just to make that possible. And so they will steal that away.
Pretty nice macro control. And this is what you have to think of when you have Ballistix on this map. They control the macros so beautifully.
I mean, BlossoM has a very strong push of their own as well down in the bottom half, so this is still going to be something they'll have to deal with. Jongha back in the back. Trying to be annoying. Stop that Night Camp from getting to join up with the rest of the push. But Modern
trying to delete the aura, which gives the spell armor for everyone around.
This is still a very strong push, of course, aided by Modern Sergeant Hammer. How are Ballistix going to deal with that? They do finally take out the Night Camp, but here comes SDE.
Perfect. Oh, this is so perfect from Meriday as well. Counter engage, and they are so close to being done, but 7-sided just blocked the damage coming out from Gondar because Parasite was so low. Hooligan also survives even without the Avatar, and
not
we'll
so
lose one though.
Lucky there, yeah. Urel going down here means it is a 5-on-4, and that's exactly what Bloodlust is designed to do, right? Give your team that big punch that they need to push through to get the man advantage, and this is going to be first keep for BlossoM.
That's how you do it. That was a great gust, I would say, with the great intentions, but when you can self-cleanse with Sergeant Hammer and getting cleanse from Meriday, both unstoppable, perfect targets. I mean,
yeah,
that's one of the best supports in the world and back in the HGC Korea.
If this were American football, that gust would have been worth 3 points right through the uprights. Not necessarily the most
And Modern's
Impactful.
self-unstoppable has been amazing in this game. Was blocking so many CCs, making sure he doesn't even need the help of his teammates. He just escapes oftentimes by himself.
So a big win there by BlossoM. They are on parity with XP, but it's about objectives. And honestly, I thought when we were talking about objectives, we'd be talking about Ballistix for most of this game. But it seems like BlossoM are doing a very good job coalescing their push down there to take out that keep and force catapults in the bottom lane.
They get the keep. That's the most important thing. 12 minutes in Dragon Chariot keep. That's pretty good timing. Ballistix, they're hinting balls that can come anytime. The Haka's in the mid lane.
Beautiful escape. BlossoM are not getting picked off. If there's one critique that we can give teams like Gen G yesterday and today, they would have these random picks. People just spontaneously combust around the map. But BlossoM are not doing that. They get these little tiny objectives.
Get the Dragon Knight. Wiz comes a second too late with the Brosh stock.
Okay,
oh man.
I'm slightly confused as maybe our BlossoM Wiz getting kind of blocked a little bit there. He thought he was going to be there in time and he wasn't. So this might give Ballistix exactly what they need to take a keep of their own.
Ballistix had all that in plan. Hero was already in the mid, channeled the moment they got those shrines. So BlossoM, they were a second too late, just respecting the delaying. They wanted to delay, but that was just not coming at the right time.
Can they hold on through a Dragon Knight?
They do have a lot of sieging power in range. Because of Sergeant Hammer, they can actually go in. Look at that, pressuring out, buying time, making sure they do some damage to the Dragon Knight.
Trying to get out there, stun on a Sergeant Hammer.
But unstoppable soon again. So they have two, one from himself and from Mary Day.
Man, Modern is just so good at keeping that range just on the nice edge. Not being vulnerable, but still being able to get shots off when he needs to.
So they can't even get close to the keep.
Yeah.
They do make plan B, but it's way too late. The Dragon Knight's dead already.
It was a very surprising Dragon Knight. For BlossoM to be able to react that quickly, enough to save their keep on the bottom. Very, very solid play there. Honkono, man, keeps going in and keeps kind of pressuring Ballistix.
That was close. I think he could have just stole that away from Ballistix once again with the Holy Ground, but a little bit too late. As the game is still in BlossoM's favor. Ballistix, they tried with the Dragon Knight, but with the Siege Power, oh, look at that onto Phoenix. The Haymaker getting the plays, and he's dead.
Oh
Only
my
Phoenix.
God.
Falstad flies in and has an ankle onto the Gust with the Sergeant Hammer. Escapes from the fight.
Swing and a miss there on the Dragon Arrow, but it doesn't actually even matter. Tyrael out of there, down for 50 seconds, and this is just going to be a big window for Ballistix.
This keep is gone. And can they really go for 4? They will try. Let's see, Sergeant Hammer, how much he can actually do without the help of Tyrael this time. Hooligan tries to go in. Stormbolt blocked again.
I mean, we do have Modern back in the back sieging here, so if Ballistix do want to go for the core, they might have to hold up just for a second.
They are going in. They do have the camp.
They are going to go for
seven-sided.
seven-sided.
Haymaker just burrow to buy time, but not going to be enough. BFG doing some damage, but they're not finding kills. He needs to find kills. Mary Day barely survives, and Tyrael comes back in 5.
But I think they can hold out here. I mean, that camp was really helping them out for a while, but the BFG combined with just consistent damage by Modern pushes them back. Ballistix, I thought if they could have found a pick maybe on a Mary Day there, then they might have been able to push through, but I think they want to avoid, being wiped and having another one of the throws like we saw last week.
That was a very good D by BlossoM. BFG hitting so many targets, bringing the HP down. As Phoenix was still dead, and Tyrael was still dead. And they can just buy enough time for Wiz to come back, and they still kind of hold the macro. Of course, the keep is down now, so it's kind of even at the bottom. But they do have the siege power, but the problem is Ballistix, they're about to hit 20.
Well, a critique that we can offer is that we're talking about how good BlossoM are playing on defense. They're defending their keep, they're defending their core, they're defending whatever, but it should show you how scary this game is, because Ballistix, they keep getting pushed back until they find one pick. Then they find a second one, and all of a sudden your keep is dead and your core is almost at risk. Now they're trying to look for another pick.
Oh, Haymaker, Mary Day's lost. He's gonna go down, and that's a big problem. No Bloodlust, no healing for BlossoM for 50 more seconds.
I feel like this is like delayed caster curse. I was just talking about how Ballistix are not making the mistake of getting picked off randomly one at a time. And now they go out and they do just that. They lose 2 the previous time, they lose Mary Day again this time, and this is going to give another Dragon Knight to Ballistix.
Of course, this is a 5v4 now, so BlossoM will have a hard time defending it for sure, and they have less of a sustain. Sure. Shield from T-Real can still come out, and Wiz can just borrow, maybe buy some time, but this is level 20, pretty late game Dragon Knight, as well as the top camp is pushing.
Going to get on to Sergeant Hammer, trying to force that boost out. Maggie really going all the way back. BFG does come out, a little bit of damage to the back line on the Hooligan. Can Modern stay safe and get the damage done that he needs? The answer is going to be, yeah, I guess for now, but the core's at risk. It's down below half, and if Ballistix just focus, they will be able to take out the core.